You didn't stumble here by luck. Something deep inside you, quiet, steady, insistent, has been pulling you forward. Maybe you've already tried building discipline, filling out habit trackers, designing perfect life plans, or binging motivational videos that sparked a fire but died out just as quickly. Yet here you are, still stuck, dragging your feet, doubting yourself, drained by procrastination. Let's get one thing straight. The issue isn't willpower. You're not weak. You're not lazy. You're not lacking ambition. What you're battling is programming. Not your essence, but an invisible operating system written by your past, by fear, by society's noise, and by the endless loops of habit etched into your brain. Your mind isn't broken. It's simply conditioned to chase ease, dodge discomfort, and protect old scars. No one ever gave us a manual for taming the inner voice, mastering emotions, or standing unshakable when life storms against us. But this moment can be your pivot. This video is your armory. 9 mental weapons forged from Stoicism, psychology, neuroscience, and timeless discipline, built to rewire your brain from the inside out. If you're ready, let's begin. Weapon 1. Pain conditioning. Pain isn't your enemy. It's your proving ground. Like weight in the gym, pain is resistance, and resistance is where strength is born. If you want to forge a mind that doesn't fracture under stress, you must step into discomfort, not with dread, but with purpose. Avoid pain and you avoid growth. Comfort lulls the mind. Pressure refines it. Neuroscience confirms it. The brain doesn't evolve when life is easy. It rewires itself under strain. When you're anxious, uncertain, or grinding through what you'd rather avoid, that's when neural pathways shift. That's when you stop being a prisoner of instinct and start becoming commander of your mind. Most people don't fail from lack of talent. They fail because they can't stomach discomfort. They crave the crown but avoid the climb. They want transformation without the suffering that forges it. And so they break, not from the fall itself, but from rejecting the fire that makes them unbreakable. You, however, are different. You're here to weaponize pain. Each time you embrace it, you rewire your brain's reward circuits. You override its thirst for instant payoff and replace it with a deeper law. Dopamine hits harder after discipline. That chemical high when you face a fear, finish a task, or endure the cold shower. It's richer than any scroll or sugar spike. It doesn't just fade. It alters who you are. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That wasn't just philosophy, it was neurology before its time. Repetition sculpts neural grooves. If you train your mind to worship comfort, it becomes brittle. If you teach it to see effort as reward, it becomes unshakable. Average people run from struggle. The elite sprint toward it. Navy SEALs call it embracing the suck. David Goggins doesn't hunt pain out of masochism. He uses it as a forge, each blister and mile of vaccination against quitting. Like vaccines prepare the body, chosen hardship prepares the mind. So start small. Wake earlier than feels good. Take the cold shower. Push one more rep in the gym. Each act whispers, "This hurts, but I'm still in control." Over time, those whispers rewrite identity, from someone who avoids pain to someone who conquers it. Pain itself won't stop you. Fear of pain will. Train until pain isn't your punishment, but your instructor. Comfort softens. Voluntary struggle hardens into steel. Weapon 2, the identity hack. Here's the harsh truth. You don't live out your goals. You live out your identity. You act according to who you believe you are. If you secretly label yourself lazy, inconsistent, or unworthy, your brain will sabotage every plan, no matter how strong your intentions. That's programming. Psychologists call it the self-schema, the blueprint your mind holds of who I am. Your behaviors bend to fit that design. If it says, "I'm not disciplined," your actions collapse to match. That's why you need the identity hack, rewriting the script. You must stop living as the version carved by criticism, comparison, and failure, and consciously choose who you are. You weren't born doubting yourself. Doubt was installed by the teacher who dismissed you, by the parent who compared you, by the failures etched into memory. Over time, you didn't just accept those limits, you defended them. You muttered, "I'm not a morning person," or "I can't stay consistent." These aren't truths. They're cages. Muhammad Ali didn't wait to win the title before declaring, "I am the greatest." He said it first, loudly, relentlessly. His brain heard it, repetition hardened it, and belief eventually sculpted reality. So how do you hack identity? First, declare it, out loud, daily. I am disciplined. I finish what I start. I show up when it's hard. First, it feels fake. But repetition doesn't ask for proof, it builds it. Then, align your actions. Keep one promise. Take one courageous step. Finish one task when quitting feels easier. Each proof is a vote, and 1,000 votes later, the new identity wins. You don't become what you want. You become what you repeatedly believe and back up with action. This isn't motivation. It's mental reprogramming. And once identity shifts, discipline stops being effort. It becomes who you are. Weapon 3, the repetition ritual. Your brain doesn't record your hopes. It records your habits. It doesn't store what you fantasize about. It stores what you repeat day after day. That's where most people fall. They chase motivation loud, flashy, and gone in a flash, instead of repetition, which is quiet, steady, and permanent. Motivation can spark the fire. Ritual keeps it burning. And here's the truth, you already have rituals. Scrolling, doubting, delaying, comparing. These invisible repetitions dig grooves into your brain, and your life runs along those grooves. Aristotle said it clearly, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. The repetition ritual is about reclaiming authorship of those grooves. It's choosing what to repeat until it becomes unconscious power. Kobe Bryant didn't rise before dawn and run endless drills because he didn't know the moves. He was programming his nervous system. So when the pressure came, his body and mind fired automatically, without hesitation. That's the force of ritual. Practice hardens into dominance. Conscious effort evolves into instinct. So ask yourself, what are you rehearsing? Distractions or discipline? Every single repetition is a deposit into weakness or strength. Start painfully small. Read 1 page. Meditate for 2 minutes. Do 5 push-ups. Speak your identity out loud. And repeat it daily, especially when you don't want to, because the brain rewires fastest under resistance. It's in those moments of pushback that the code starts to shift. Remember this, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your rituals. Your daily repetitions are your destiny, hidden in plain sight. Weapon 4, mental warfare mode. The battlefield isn't out there. It's inside your skull. Your job won't break you. Your failures won't break you. Even betrayal won't break you. The real war is with the voice in your head, the one whispering, "Quit. Do it tomorrow. Take the easy way." Your brain wasn't designed for greatness. It was designed for survival. It doesn't care about your potential. It only cares that you're safe, comfortable, and breathing. That's why the moment you step into risk, your mind floods you with excuses, fear signals, and retreat orders. Unless you train it, it will sabotage you every time. Mental warfare mode is not about blind optimism. It's not about chanting pretty affirmations and waiting for motivation to arrive. It's about declaring war on your weakness. It's about standing your ground when every feeling screams retreat. It's duty over doubt, mission over mood. Viktor Frankl, imprisoned in Auschwitz, stripped of everything, clung to one unbreakable power, the ability to choose his attitude. He gave meaning to his pain, and that choice could not be stolen. Even in chains, his mind remained free. That's the heart of mental warfare mode, reclaiming command. You identify your true enemies: fear, procrastination, self-pity. And you issue orders. I am not my emotions. I act on mission. Build rituals of resistance. Morning practices that anchor your identity. Visualizations of victory. Affirmations of strength, not comfort. Because what you rehearse becomes who you are. Rehearse complaints and you'll live as a victim. Rehearse resilience and you'll live as a warrior. and you must train daily, like a soldier. Not once, not when it's easy, but relentlessly, because this war never ends. And neither can your preparation. Weapon 5, Self-talk rewire. Every battle begins with a whisper, the voice inside your head. Sometimes it shouts, sometimes it murmurs, but it never stops. And too often, that voice is your greatest enemy. Thoughts like, I'm not good enough, I'll never change, I always fail. These aren't truths, they're loops. The brain believes whatever it hears most often, even if the words are lies. Over time, that negative echo doesn't just stay noise, it becomes a program. It turns into the hidden script steering your choices, your emotions, your very identity. Think about it. No one ever teaches us how to talk to ourselves. We're told how to greet strangers, how to write essays, how to pass interviews, but not how to coach our own minds. So when life gets heavy, most people collapse beneath an inner critic that was never meant to lead. Science confirms this. Cognitive psychology shows that self-directed speech literally shifts brain chemistry. A phrase as simple as "I'm learning" activates neural pathways linked to focus and recovery. This isn't fluffy self-help, it's biology. Words are signals, and your brain is soil. Whatever seeds you plant, it grows. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Mastery begins with language, the inner dialogue shaping every decision. Take Brian, a long-distance runner. His legs had power. His lungs had endurance. Yet he kept quitting halfway. Why? Because his mind whispered the same defeat over and over. I'm not built for this. That whisper programmed failure. He wasn't losing to the race, he was losing to himself. Then Brian changed the script. He started repeating, I'm someone who finishes, even when it hurts. First, it felt fake. But with repetition, new neural tracks formed. After 60 days, quitting felt unnatural. By 90, he crossed his first marathon finish line, not because his body transformed, but because his self-talk did. If you want freedom, start here. 1. Notice your self-talk. Write it down. 2. Challenge it. Where did this belief come from? Who gave it to you? 3. Replace it with truth-shaped identity. Not fantasy, but power. I am resilient. I finish what I start. 4. Repeat until belief bends. Say it out loud. Record it. Hear your own voice until your brain has no choice but to obey. You can either live inside a script written by fear, or seize the pen and write your own. Weapon 6. Victory delay mode. Lily painted in silence for 10 years. No audience. No applause. No spotlight. Each morning, each lonely canvas, each brushstroke was a decade-long rehearsal. 10 years. 3,000 paintings. And then, one day, a collector found her work. A single sale changed everything. But here's the truth. What transformed Lily wasn't the sale. It was the patience she had forged in those silent years. She had turned waiting into strength. Today, patience feels like a dead art. Notifications ping every second. Entertainment arrives in seconds. Success stories are compressed into reels and shorts. We've been conditioned to believe that if results don't arrive instantly, we've failed. That's a lie. Failure isn't missing the goal. Failure is surrendering before the reward has time to appear. Victory delay mode is the cure. It's the weapon of endurance in a world addicted to speed. It's the discipline to keep building in the shadows, to keep grinding when recognition is nowhere in sight, to hold the line when progress feels invisible. Psychology proved this decades ago with the famous marshmallow experiment. Kids who resisted one marshmallow now for two later weren't just patient. They were rewiring their brains for resilience. Years later, those same kids scored higher, worked better, and handled stress with more grit. Why? Because patience had become power. Training victory delay mode means declaring, my mission matters more than applause. My commitment outweighs my cravings. You stop feeding on dopamine bursts from likes, validation, or quick wins. You run on vision, on principle, on the long game. Here's how to train it. Choose a mission worth suffering for, even if nobody ever notices. Track effort, not outcomes. Measure the days you showed up, not the trophies. Repeat the mantra, my results are delayed, not denied. Lily didn't wake up each day waiting for fame. She woke up loyal to the work itself. That's the essence of victory delay mode, devotion to the cause, even in silence. In the long run, persistence beats talent. Patience beats speed. Consistency beats intensity. The real victors aren't the fastest starters. They're the ones still standing when the impatient have all given up. Weapon 7, target lock. You're not losing because you lack ambition. You're losing because your attention is shattered. You sprint from dawn until midnight, juggling endless tasks. Yet when the day ends you feel drained, restless, and strangely unaccomplished. This is the tyranny of distraction. The human brain isn't built for multitasking. Neuroscientists call it attention residue. Every time you switch, fragments of focus stay glued to what you abandoned. Layer by layer, that residue fogs your clarity, siphons your energy, and blocks you from ever entering flow. Flow, the rare state where time vanishes, work feels weightless, and output skyrockets, cannot exist in a fractured mind. Target lock is the antidote. It's the discipline of single-minded focus. Like a sniper tuning out battlefield chaos, you silence the noise, fix your aim, and unleash everything on one target with ruthless precision. Look at Paul. Brilliant, but paralyzed by digital clutter. Scrolling endlessly, juggling half-finished projects, drowning in distraction. For years he thought he lacked motivation. The truth? He lacked focus. His turning point came with a single rule. One deep task a day. Just one. No notifications. No background chaos. No multitasking. Within 6 weeks, his startup came alive. His confidence reignited. And his fractured discipline fused back into steel. He didn't need a guru. He needed target lock. Now ask yourself, what if you gave one sacred hour to one mission each day? What if, instead of scattering yourself, you locked in on the one pursuit that truly mattered? Here's how to train it. 1. Block sacred time. Choose 30 to 60 minutes daily. 2. Eliminate distraction. Phone in another room. No open tabs. No lyrical music. 3. Issue the command. Say it out loud. Nothing exists except this. Repeat this ritual long enough and your brain adapts, dropping into depth faster, producing at a higher level, building momentum you didn't think possible. You don't need more dreams, you need a decisive strike. Target lock is that strike. Weapon 8, dopamine shutdown. You're not weak. You're being hijacked. Every ping, every swipe, every endless scroll. These aren't harmless habits. They're engineered dopamine traps. Tech giants spend billions designing them to keep you hooked, because your brain chases dopamine the way fire chases oxygen. But here's the truth. Dopamine isn't happiness. It's pursuit. It's the spark that drives you to chase, to build, to conquer. Misused, it becomes poison. When you pour it into shallow stimulation, TikTok loops, Instagram likes, non-stop notifications, you dull your edge. Reading feels impossible. Focus feels foreign. Even silence feels unbearable. Not because you're lazy, but because your nervous system has been rewired to crave cheap highs. That's why meaningful work, studying, creating, training, feels like climbing a mountain without oxygen. Your brain isn't weak. It's overstimulated. The cure is dopamine shutdown, a tactical reset. Not punishment. Not deprivation. A deliberate withdrawal from cheap rewards to recalibrate your system, sharpen your instincts, and rediscover real satisfaction. Take Ethan. His days blurred into endless scrolling, laughing at clips he couldn't remember, consuming content without joy. He felt hollow, restless, directionless, until he made a radical move. 14 days of silence. No screens. No social media. Just a notebook and the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus. The first days were brutal. His hands twitched for his phone. His mind screamed for escape. But then the fog lifted. By day 5, thoughts cut sharper. Colors burned brighter. By day 10, stillness became a friend. For the first time in years, Ethan wasn't escaping. He was alive. You don't need to go that far. Start small. No social media after 6 p.m. No phone for the first 30 minutes of your morning. Replace consumption with creation. Write, walk, meditate. Your brain will resist. It will fight you, but over time it will relearn patience, depth, presence. Because your true enemy isn't laziness, it's overstimulation. If you don't master dopamine, dopamine will master you. Weapon 9, the death ground strategy. There's an old tale from ancient China about the general Xiang Yu. When he marched his army across a river to face a force far greater than his own, he shocked his men with a single order: burn the ships, smash the cooking pots. No retreat, no safety net, no way home but through the enemy. That day, driven by desperation and fire, his soldiers fought with a savagery the world would never forget, and they won. This is the death ground strategy. When escape is gone, when comfort is stripped away, the human spirit awakens with a ferocity it never finds in safety. The fear of loss sharpens focus. The absence of retreat unleashes hidden power. Negotiation ends because survival has the final word. But most of us live with the back door wide open. We set goals but keep excuses nearby. If it fails, I'll just try again later. We hold on to backups that whisper, you don't have to go all in. That cushion feels safe, but it kills urgency. Commitment diluted is commitment destroyed. Think of Hernán Cortés, who torched his ships upon reaching the New World, forcing his men into total devotion. Think of founders who quit steady jobs and gamble everything on their vision because failure means ruin. Think of athletes who train as if every contest is their last, because one day it will be. The death ground strategy isn't recklessness. It's the end of half effort. It's the declaration: this must work. I will not quit. There is no plan B. For you, that might mean deleting the app that devours your hours. It might mean going public with a goal so failure burns. It might mean staking money, time, or reputation so retreat becomes unthinkable. The brain's instinct is to conserve, to delay, to whisper, save this for later. But when later vanishes, when only forward remains, something primal awakens. Hope dies. Fight is born. Death ground drags the raw you into daylight. The you that isn't cushioned by comfort or numbed by distraction, but forged to adapt, endure, and dominate. Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." The death ground strategy burns away that waste. It pins you against the wall of mortality, where the only choice left is to live fully or surrender everything. So burn the ships, step into death ground, and discover how alive you become when the only way out is through. The final confrontation. Now you carry 9 weapons in your arsenal. 1. Pain conditioning: transform hardship into strength. 2. Identity hack: become the story you repeat to yourself. 3. Repetition ritual: carve discipline into your nervous system. 4. Mental warfare mode: crush the enemy within. 5. Self-talk rewire: program resilience through your own voice. 6. Victory delay mode: master patience when the world rushes. 7. Target lock: strike with undivided focus. 8. Dopamine shutdown: reclaim your brain from hijackers. 9. Death ground strategy: burn the exits and awaken total commitment. But here's the truth. Knowledge means nothing without action. You can listen, nod, and feel inspired, but if tomorrow you return to the same loops, nothing changes. That's the trap of modern self-help. People chase the feeling of progress without the discipline of progress. You must act. Today. Not by wielding all 9 at once. That's impossible. You choose one weapon. One. And you sharpen it until it becomes part of you. Pain conditioning for 30 days. Dopamine shutdown for 2 weeks. Target lock for 1 focused hour every morning. Small strikes, repeated with consistency, forge unbreakable steel. Discipline isn't an event, it's identity. Every time you resist weakness, every time you choose the mission over comfort, you cast a vote. 1,000 votes later, the old you is gone. What remains is a warrior, not a dreamer. Why this matters? Because time doesn't wait. Whether you fight or not, the clock keeps burning. Days vanish. Years evaporate. Dreams decay into regret. And the version of you that could have been extraordinary dies quietly under the weight of excuses. But picture the alternative. 5 years from now, standing tall, looking back not with shame but with fire. You'll see the version of you who showed up, who endured, who conquered the voice that said quit. You'll feel the unshakable calm of knowing that nothing, fear, distraction, weakness, owns you anymore. That version is real. It's waiting, but it demands sacrifice. It demands weapons, the closing command. So here is the order. Stop waiting. Stop bargaining. Stop drowning in comfort. Pick your weapon and swing it today. Say it out loud. I am not broken. I am not weak. I am reprogramming my mind. I am becoming unstoppable. Because one day you will find yourself on your own death ground, face to face with the end. On that day, the likes, the comfort, the excuses won't matter. Only one question will remain. Did you live as a prisoner of weakness or as a warrior of discipline? Choose now. Choose fire. Choose strength. Choose to fight. Because in the end, it's not just about winning battles. It's about winning yourself.